Hello everyone and welcome back to another Figurehead Reviews video, and today we are taking a look at the Marvel Legends Mysterio from the Lizard Build-A-Figure wave. Here we have Mysterio displayed in the front window box. We get a Spider-Man logo at the top, the Spider-Man name down here on the side, and then we get some artwork here of Mysterio. It is the same on both sides, and then we get a product shot as well as all the other figures needed in this wave to complete the Lizard Build-A-Figure. And at the top here we have the read-up. A master of illusion, Mysterio seeks universal fame as a cloaked villain with an unmistakable helmet. And down at the bottom we do have the UPC code, so you can search the best that you can for this figure. He is hard to find. But enough about that. Let's get this open and take a look at Mysterio. And here is Mysterio outside of the packaging, and man, this has got to be one of the most difficult Marvel Legends figures for me to get in a long time, which is really surprising. I don't think it's due to the overwhelming popularity of the figure. I think it's due more to the combination of that plus just poor distribution. I've barely seen this wave out in retail, so I feel like maybe it's just a little bit of both. Fun fact too, there are two variations to this figure. This one here that has the white inside of the dome there, and then another one that has the same color here, it's green. This is the white variant. I ordered this on the Hasbro toy shop, and this is what they sent me. Depending on who you ask, they'll say one is more rare than the other. I've actually seen more cases where people say the white one is more rare. I don't know, since I haven't seen it in the wild. They're all rare to me. But with that being said, we're going to take a look at the accessories. He does come with a Build-A-Figure piece, but we're not going to look at that, of course. We're going to put Lizard together and we'll look at it then. But we are going to get a closer look real quick at these magic effects, and then we're going to get a better look at Mysterio himself. And getting a closer look at the effects that come with Mysterio. So these have this little loop here that you can, I would say, I've seen other reviewers, as a matter of fact, putting it on like the arm and such, but I feel like it's meant to go on his leg just the way it's molded around. So it's meant to be something coming up from underneath. But I suppose you could put it on his arm if you wanted to. It doesn't really matter. But looking at it, we have just this weird bubbly, we get some tentacles thrown in there, and just kind of all over the place. Which, whatever, that's kind of cool. You know, you got a big tentacle here on this side wrapping around. And it is this flexible, not completely flexible. There are some pretty stiff parts right there. So it's not as jelly as, say, like the lightning effects, but it is jelly enough to be able to, position it again if you wanted to put it on to flex around the leg and stuff like that. So, and then looking at the other one, it is different, which is cool. Still has the same spot that you can flex it around on the leg. And again, like the other one, you could probably put it on a hand or something if you wanted to. And we get a similar bubbly effect. And it looks like we got a little tentacle down there. Yeah, a lot of the bubbly effects though. So, yeah, really cool. I think it's neat that they included those just to give us that one extra piece. Now, normally I wouldn't look at his head, or rather his cloak, separately, but just because it is such a unique thing, if we can just kind of wiggle his head out of there, maybe, there we go, boy. And we're going to get a closer look at this head. Hopefully I won't have it too overexposed, but the dome is a part of his cloak, so it will be on there, and we can see it's a little bit of a frosted look. You can see by putting my finger in there, it's a little just grayed out. And in fact, some people talked about putting cotton balls and things like that. I almost wonder, oh yeah, no, never mind, that's going to show up pretty bad. I was going to say, if you just don't put a head on, how frosted it would be, but yeah, people that want to put cotton balls and stuff just so it remains like a frosted look. So, but either way, we'll go ahead real quick, get a closer look now at this head sculpt and the rest of Mysterio. All right, so here we are up close with Mysterio, and I'm trying to adjust my lights so that it's not too overexposed and that you can at least have the dome set in the back there. And we'll see here once I take this off, but you can kind of see that white skull underneath. And again, this is the white skull variant, not the green one. I think that's pretty obvious, but you can see a hint of it under there, which is pretty cool. As we look around real quick though at the dome here, nothing crazy going on. You do have the, it looks like probably the injection spot there where they cast this. So that's kind of a bummer that you do have that right at the top. But that's not too distracting since it is at the top. And then the glue holding it on looks like it's well done. And to take this off, it is just the peg in the back, and then you just slide it up and over the head. And I kept getting the jaw stuck, so I kind of had to wiggle it a little bit. But there we go. So we got it off, and let's see how well this is going to focus in. And it's a little tough with the white one. But you can see a very, very cool skull design, and it's almost a pearlescent, not just white, but you got some cracks in the skull there. You got the tentacles in the mouth, out the eyes, and you get some otherwise really great detailing on this figure. And that shine, that pearlescent material really shines through. So I think that is really neat that they went with something like this for the head sculpt under there. And I don't know, I think it's pretty cool. Looking at the rest of the figure, though, we have not a whole lot going on. You have sort of that quilted design there, padded design, whatever you want to call it, and that goes throughout the figure. Yeah, nothing too special. On the arms, of course, we do get the big gauntlets here, and you get some intricate design there. And I like that we don't have just a solid color, that it does look like that they have some detail painting in there, that they did like maybe a dry brushing or a wash in there to help fill in and make some of that pop. So that is cool. And then the legs, though, we do have, similar to the hands, we have this shiny green material. So that's kind of cool. And that almost, you can kind of see how that shines in the light. That's pretty neat. And he has for his hands sort of this, I don't know, this gesture, this magical gesture. And then same thing with this hand, sort of again, you know, casting out an illusion or something there. So, and then real quick, just taking another quick look at the cape. So he does have these clasps here, which are these eyes, which came out pretty cool. You can see some of the glue, maybe not now. Looking really close here at the cape, it's got this pattern throughout the backside, which is interesting, just because it gives it some texture to that cape. We don't get it on the back side, but we get it on the inside. I don't know if you guys could hear that, but yeah, that's kind of neat that there's actual texture to that. So, but yeah. So let's go ahead, though, take a look at scale and articulation now. And checking out first here, we have the scale, and I know it's hard to see again, but he is coming in at just under 6.5 inches, a little over 6 3/4 inches tall. So Mysterio is a little bit of the taller character. I am going to do the articulation as it is with this, with the bulb on his head, because I don't think anybody is going to display him too often without it. So there is no point in articulation down there. The head does, of course, rotate around underneath there, but honestly, it's so frosted that I don't think it really matters where he's looking. You do have arms that can, of course, go all the way around, but they are going to hit on that cloak. And the cloak is held on again as you adjust it. It is held on just with that little peg in the back there. But his arms can come up in a pretty decent T-pose there. He does have a bicep rotation. He has double jointed elbows, and he does have a hinge and rotation at the wrist. He does have an ab crunch, and as I'm moving him around, that peg keeps coming out. So he has an ab crunch that can go forward, but you can see that cape is going to lunge backwards. And then he can go back, and it looks just kind of weird because you can't really get his legs back. He does have waist rotation, legs that can go apart that far. He can kick forward, not too bad. Kick backwards, problem there, he's going to hit the cape. He does have, though, a upper thigh cut, double jointed knees. He does have a boot rotation, and then he does have ankle hinge with ankle pivot. And for a quick comparison here, now that I finally have a Mysterio, I can create the original Sinister Six. Granted, yeah, the Vulture is still the ultimate version, but you have here everyone that made up the original Sinister Six: Sandman, Electro, Vulture, Kraven, Dr. Octopus, and of course Mysterio. So very cool to see all these figures next to each other, and some real cool possibilities for some pretty neat Spider-Man displays. And here we have the entire wave displayed together along with the Lizard Build-A-Figure. We have Lasher, Spider-Man Noir, Gwenpool, Mysterio, the Lizard Build-A-Figure, Spider-Woman, Spider-Punk, and Prowler. Very good looking wave. And that is it for this review, everyone. And, you know, overall, awesome character. Definitely really excited to finally get this to round out that Sinister Six. Not to mention just another great iconic Spider-Man villain. So if you can find this, definitely pick him up. If you see him in the wild, which I still think we will see him in the wild. There's a lot of naysayers out there, but I think you'll still see him. But pick him up. He is a very cool character. He's going to hold some value for a little bit here. I think it's just a hard to find Marvel Legends. But you'd be surprised what posing options you have with him. You know, even something like this, a pretty dynamic pose for a character like this, and still able to use these effects as they wrap around the leg. So, you know, those effects are really cool, and they add quite a bit to the character when you have them in various like spell casting or illusion casting poses like this. So, very much worth a pickup in my opinion, and I think it's a lot of potential. With that being said, guys, if you like this review, make sure to hit that like button. Leave a comment down below. Let me know whether or not you were able to find them in the wild or if you had to do something crazy, or I'm really curious how many of you had to go to the secondary markets for them. But anyway, as always, thanks for watching the video. Make sure to hit subscribe for more content just like this. And aside from that, have a great day.